Hey guys, so this is my third vlog as we enter the conversation of how myth and ritual plays a role in Metropolis, The Dark Knight, and Wall-E. So the main theme of Metropolis is this separation, the separation of the cities, the upper and the lower being the working class or the ghetto, um, kind of putting in these torturous hours so that the upper city could prosper and just live off that. Just a couple of themes I wanted to kind of touch upon, um, which kind of include Frater as the Messiah, or Jesus Christ more specifically. So Frater begins to work in the machines, and then we kind of see this normal or the typical worker on the machine kind of collapse from exhaustion, and then Frater changes places with him, kind of gives him the chance to go to the upper city and um, enjoy his time. So Frater steps in, replaces him, and then he himself becomes exhausted and cries out to his, cries out and says, "Father, I've never known, or I never knew that 10 hours could be torture, or working 10 hours could be torture." And so by suffering as the workers did, Frater realizes that their plight, and this is one of the deciding factors in the decision of the free workers um, to kind of decrease that gap between the two cities and kind of get rid of the segregation and kind of um, implement this sense of unity, or I guess go on this journey um, to conquer that idea. And then we could actually analyze Friedrich's cry to his father to be linked to Jesus's cry to his father when he's on the cross. And for those who aren't aware, of course, that Jesus Christ came down. He kind of lived for down here to kind of experience the sins of the people and to kind of help them get back to um, to peace or what may have you. And then another theme I kind of wanted to talk about was the flooding of the lower city, and that was of course another reflection of this biblical story with Noah. And then it kind of ties into other myths. Almost all cultures or religions have this kind of story of of the inhabitant and then the world, and we kind of save a few people, but kind of destroyed by a flood. And the flood is intended to kind of clean the earth, so as this cleansing of the earth of evil, or Jesus Christ, it was you know cleanse it of sin, of evil sins. Here is just straight evil brought about by humans, and kind of choosing a specific amount of people, or just chosen individuals to kind of repopulate the earth. Those are the ones that were right in the eyes of God, or whatever deity happens to be causing the flood. And though the flood of Metropolis doesn't really cause death of the children, the mythology behind that, it kind of is an important role of explaining the significance of change that kind of takes place after the flood. This whole rebirth of the city as one body instead of the two upper and lower cities, to kind of work with each other in kind of unity instead of just one group working while the other one prospers. So Fred and Maria represent the two people, the two people chosen to propagate, to kind of fulfill that prophecy or that calling that the human after the flood, kind of the water recedes or kind of goes away. And they do this by creating this understanding of the upper and lower citizens, and then kind of wanting to implement this unity, which ultimately is um, acquired. So next we have the Dark Knight. This was a little bit harder for me to kind of find any kind of deeper theme in mythology, except for either the hero's myth and some patterns of the hero, I guess. So the evident theme, of course, is the good and evil. We see the Dark Knight, um, Batman, kind of disguised as a hero. So we have that idea there that the hero is an adult male, as we've learned in our lectures, but it's this distinct separation, or this disguise of the hero. And then the evil, of course, being Joker, which I really enjoyed in this film. I think Heath Ledger did an amazing job. He kind of really played that psychotic. You wouldn't think that he was acting the role just because of how well he did it. Um, so with him, we see this kind of this long for chaos instead of actually, like, well, I guess it's power or control in the movie. And he says that sometimes chaos is actually the best form, or I guess the better form of justice, or that justice could actually be conquered through chaos. Um, the pattern that he was kind of prevalent here with Batman being the adult male, as I said before, and is also in touch with this idea of um, the problems going, with Gotham, this dystopian city, to such an extent that he's kind of needs technology. So we see this whole technological suit that he has with all his gadgets and stuff to kind of fight crime, um, which we learn on lectures as well. And this kind of separates him from Dwayne Dwayne and Batman, and kind of needing his suit and his gadgets to fight for justice. Then going to Wally. The main point here is kind of at the beginning we see these two people, and it's kind of this story of, I guess, creation. On Earth, we see these two people depicted on Earth, kind of not, well, I say people, but it's really the two robots in this case. Wally being, the story of Adam and Eve, Wally being Adam, and Eve being Eve. So Eve is the mother of the new Earth. She kind of finds and protects Earth's signs of any life, and kind of keeps it in her robotic womb, so to speak. Um, and I guess her calling would be to um, put humans back on Earth or back on the planet, and then both going against. We kind of see both robots going against what they're actually programmed for, which is to discover something greater. And in this case, it's love. We see this connection grow between the two, which is also pretty strange because in Batman we see this, I guess, opposing idea of technology versus man. So we previously saw how beneficial, I guess, technology could have been, um, as Batman used it to fight crime. But then here we kind of see how far technology has brought us, humans in this case, to the point that we become sedimentary and we're just like lying on couches and this chair that kind of takes us everywhere, and don't really experience much of physical interaction, to the point where the captain is actually in awe of everything that Wally and Eve are able to kind of demonstrate and show them. So Wally is very much like the story of Noah and the Ark. You see, it's a prevalent theme I like to talk a little bit about. So we can see, I guess, the ship as the ship of people as the Axiom, who carries the humans race safely, just like the Ark of Noah did. They carry the animals to safety, while both humans and the on the Axiom and the animals um, on the arcs were kind of inhabitable. And this is kind of a sign that was needed to let Noah and the captain on the Axiom know that they can go back to Earth and they can go back home. And Noah sends out the dove, and that could kind of, this dove could, I guess, could be depicted as Eve, because she's this white robot, as we see in the film. I enjoyed watching all these three films, mainly The Dark Knight and Wally, because I saw those films before and I really enjoyed those two, and I was kind of glad I was able to kind of analyze these two films and gotta develop a deeper appreciation for them. That's pretty much it. Thank you.